What's up, guys? Welcome back to another review. This time I'm going to give my thoughts on the DC animated movie Green Lantern Emerald Knights, which is a follow-up to Green Lantern First Flight. It's not a sequel because this movie, if this movie was a sequel, then you would be completely confused because in First Flight, Sinestro's a bad guy. In this movie, it's as if nothing ever happened. So this is like its own little thing. Overall thoughts on Emerald Knights? This is a very entertaining movie. After watching it again, I think I like it a little bit more than First Flight. I like the whole idea of this thing being like an anthology type movie. Pretty much, there's the main story, which is Hal Jordan is taking this new recruit under his wing, and he's telling this character, stories about the Green Lantern, about Pacific Lanterns. He tells her a story about the first Lantern named Avra. Then he tells her a story about this character called Laria, this other character called Mojo. Then, and of course, Hal's mentor, Abin Sur. And we also get a little story about Kilowog, which expands on his backstory. And every single one of those stories, they're all interwoven within the main story, and it's a good segue into these stories. Now, some of these stories are better than most. I actually like the first story about the first Lantern. I think it's really cool seeing the history of the Green Lantern, of the Corps, how it all came to be, and I just like seeing space battles with the Green Lanterns. That's what I want to see in the Green Lantern movie, whether it's movie or animation. I want to see space battles, and you get a really cool space battle with the first Lantern team, and I think it's really well done. And we see how the character Avra became the first Lantern, and how he inspired his teammates to fight an evil when they're down on their luck. It's about the willpower, and we see how Avra took that to light and how he was able to lead his team to victory. So that was great stuff. Good writing also. The Kilowog story, we get to see Kilowog and his, we see rookie Kilowog, voiced by Henry Rollins, who does a great job as Kilowog. We see his story when he's being trained by this drill sergeant called Deegan. Sorry. And we see how Kilowog was trained and where he got his personality from. Also, in Kilowog's story, we see that Tom Array is with him, which is pretty much Kilowog and Tom Array have been together since the beginning. And and the Kilowog story, again, it's a good story. We see Kilowog, how Kilowog developed his personality. We see how Kilowog showed leadership skills in this story, and we see how he's one of the more respected Lanterns out of the entire Corps. Good story. I like it a lot. The story about Laria, I had trouble paying attention to it. It didn't really capture my interest at all. So it's not horrible, but it's very forgettable because I don't even remember. She was a princess who went back to her home world, and her home world was killed off, something like that. I don't know. It's something that I had no interest in paying attention. But a favorite one is gotta be Mogo Does Not Socialize, which has Roddy Piper as the voice of Balfunga, and it's pretty much Piper trying to find a lantern, which is revealed to be a living planet. But Piper as Balfunga is awesome. You can tell the guy's having a blast playing this character. It's one of the more entertaining segments. It's got a lot of comedy to it, but it's so good. And Piper does an excellent job. Piper's voice was meant for this character. It's like it goes hand in hand. Good job by the Hot Rod. Great stuff. And of course, the last one is about Abin Sur, and we get to see Abin Sur and Sinestro team up a little bit. We get to see them interact with one another. We see how their friendship is. We see their different philosophies, and they're chasing down this guy called Atroticus, and it's Atroticus, which tells the future and tells Abin Sur that eventually Sinestro is going to turn against the Corps and blah blah blah, and that Abin Sur will die. So I like how this segment, we see the friendship between Abin Sur and Sinestro, plus we also see hints of what is to come with Sinestro also. So, and I like all that, and I like the conflicting ideals between Abin Sur and Sinestro. But you can also tell there's a great deal of respect between the two of them, and that they have a legitimate friendship. And all that was conveyed within a 5-minute segment. It's astonishing what you can do in a 5 minutes Some movies can't even do that with the 2 hour runtime. It's mind-boggling just how just how you can condense a 2 hour. It's mind-boggling how you can condense something that can take 2 hours into 5 minutes, and you can make it believable, and you can relate to it just like that. Again, it has a lot to do with the writing and, of course, the acting. You had Arnold Vosloo, who did a good job as Abin Sur. You got Jason Isaacs, who was really good as Sinestro. Let's talk about the voice cast in general. Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern was fantastic. Henry Rollins, as I said, as Kilowog was great. You had Wade Williams, who played the character of Deegan, who was the drill sergeant, who was really hard in his core, but he did a great job as well. So, like, everyone in the voice cast, like the principal people, all nailed it out of the park. This is a well-acted movie from his voice cast. The animation looks stellar. The animation really, really looks good. Very bright, very colorful. Every planet has their own unique look to it. I also like the little interactions within the main story as the Green Lanterns are all, coming together because they got to stop this, force called Kronos, who is going to invade, and all the Lanterns got to work together to try and stop it. That's the main story. But, that's not the best part of the movie. The best part of the movie is these short little segments that Hal's telling to the new recruit. That's where the movie really shines. The overall connective tissue story, it's okay, but it's not what you're paying to see. But I do like how in these little segues, the other Lanterns interact with Hal and the new recruit. It makes the world feel more lively and more realistic in a way, which is what I like. Because with stuff like Green Lanterns and stuff like that, you gotta really make it feel grounded. And you gotta make these people feel like real people, like they've known each other for a long time. And I think the movie did a really good job at conveying that. So overall, those are my thoughts on Green Lantern Emerald Knights. At the end of the day, I'm gonna give this thing a 9 out of 10. It's a good movie. It's much better than First Flight, and I liked First Flight, but I think this movie is much better than First Flight. The animation is great, the voice acting is great, all the stories are good, with the exception of the Laurie story, which I didn't really care for, and the overall main story not being anything spectacular, but everything else about this movie, good stuff. Good writing, good acting, good animation. Once again, DC hits another one out of the park with these animated movies, and once again, it turns it someone who's not much of a Green Lantern fan. It captures my interest to people who want to know more about the Green Lantern. So, if you've seen Green Lantern Emerald Knights, let me know in the comment sections below. Like this video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.